Yeah.
Craig,
What?
this is not a light video.
Oh,
This is a
look how cool
no.
Oh, yeah,
KO3 video.
Yeah. KO3.
Those are cool, by the way.
Those are pretty cool. Yeah. So welcome back to Texas Truck Channel. I'm Craig and Brian's here, and we've got some fun news. Yes, we've got lights. We got all the cool stuff. You've been watching our videos.
Yeah.
But Brian's right. There's some really cool things down there. Brian, we're very interested ourselves. We weren't sure about them. We didn't know. Why did we go that route?
Okay, look, if you're going to build a truck, which we weren't, I'll be honest with you, we weren't really planning on going this far into building the truck. When we bought it, we thought it'd be an OEM testing tool. We'd have it on hand when other trucks came through, so we could do comparisons really well. We still have all of that. I've gotten a little bit carried away with all the awesome aftermarket that Tacoma has available. This is a 24 model, and we've already got roof racks, bed racks, ditch lights, zombie lights. I mean, everything. And there's some suspension stuff available. We haven't touched that yet, but more on that later. But you can't do all this stuff without skipping leg day. So that's why we did wheels and tires. And if you've seen our other content on our LR3 that we have, we are a big fan of steelies. And that's exactly what we've done here. The problem with this is it's so new and the offset is different from the previous gen Tacoma, third gen Tacoma. So we had to do a lot of homework and find these steelies that would work. We had to order multiple sizes, do a lot of measuring. Long story short, we figured it out. This is a 17 by 7.5 steelie off of a 5th gen 4Runner. I don't know if it's a spare from the TRD Pro, but they also make a 7-inch wide, which does not fit our application for this.
We found that out the hard way.
Yeah, there's a couple wheels in our garage that we'll never have used forever again. We got it figured out, not only for us, but for you guys. And this is, I think, the first steelie 4th gen Tacoma that I've ever heard of. Let us know down below if you've seen one or know of one. Craig, we've got the most modern mid-size truck on the planet, the newest thing available. Why not get the newest tire to go with it? And that's the KO3. Man, we are huge fans of the BFG KO2. If you have heard of off-road or dirt or overlanding or anything remotely not on pavement, you know about the KO2. Probably the most legendary off-road all-terrain tire ever made. And I've had 4 sets personally, love them all. Wanted to buy KO2s for this and said, you know what, let's spend a little bit more, go for the KO3 and see what we think on this. So take a look at the tread pattern, Greg. It looks different. And on camera, I can tell you, it looks less aggressive. And that's part of what our debate was going in. I mean, you thought the same thing, right, Craig?
Oh, absolutely.
So it
looks the same on the side, I think, but it's the tread pattern here, the actual in the center looks different.
It looks less aggressive.
Looks less aggressive. Looks like an off-brand KO2 at first.
Right. There's some other brands there, Venom Power, that look like a worn-out version of this tire, brand new, but it's slightly more angular. It's got some more slashing going in. So the gapping between the tread blocks appears to be narrower than the KO2. We'll put a photo in here of our comparisons of them. But this slash mark and stuff like that is just a running tread design that's new and different and something that's cool. You do get KO3 in the tires, and like Craig said, on profile, it looks just like the KO2 on the blocking, and the text looks just like the Trail Train TA that we took off of it. The biggest difference is this is supposed to be a little quieter than the KO2. Not that the KO2 is that noisy.
Gravel road durability.
Okay.
So less wear on gravel surfaces, which is nice.
Yeah, Craig's going to test that for us. He runs a gravel road on his way to work sometimes and really has a chance to test that out.
And the next biggest thing was better performance in mud, which is interesting because you and I both think that this looks like it wouldn't be as good in mud. Right. But I think the reason is the actual siping and design tread pattern. It's less likely to get mud to get hung up in here. It's actually going to get it out. And so that's the idea.
Well, yeah, I think you're exactly right. Look at this ridge right here. That's designed to fling mud more. And look, we're going to do a technical breakdown of this versus the KO2s on a future video. But for now, we just wanted to show you this and what we've got. Size-wise, we went with a 285 70/17. That puts it right at a 33. It's about a 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch taller than the tire that the truck came with.
So we're getting a little bit of height on our actual truck, and that's kind of nice. So.
And I can tell you, the moment because you drove it before me, Craig, the moment I got in, I went, whoa, this thing feels a little bit taller, incrementally taller. I think it's perfect.
Compared to the tire it came with on the TRD off-road, this tire is, yes, a 1/2 inch taller, but also it's a little bit wider, right?
Yeah, it's definitely wider. So it's a 285 instead of 265. And that first number is your width and contact patch. And then your 70 or your 75 or 65 is your percentage of the tread patch the meat. The sidewall. It's the meat. It's the beef. So it looks freaking awesome, Craig. The big debate we had, Craig, was there are aftermarket wheels from the 3rd gen because it's the same lug pattern, but they stick out way too far. So if you have a 0 offset on this, well, I'm not gonna get into all the plus 35 and plus 25 and all that stuff, but this is a plus 19 wheel, steelie. I've done the homework on it. The other option was a plus 15 and that stuck in too far and the wheel was too narrow itself. But that patch is just really wide. All that aside, what do you think, Craig?
One of the reasons we went with this offset is you really researched this, and I think we've ended up in a good spot. We were really concerned about rubbing or cutting or any of those sorts of things. None. No issues to report here. Yeah. And we haven't done anything with the suspension.
No. Suspension's completely factory, so there's no warranty issues or anything like that. I have wheeled this on our local trails. I've articulated it. I've got wheels in the air. No rubbing. So after you told me that, I went like, let's angle this thing up and try it out. Full lock left and right, full stroke and compression. It works. Now, the mud flinging is no joke because I barely hit anything on the way to the shoot this morning, and I've got mud everywhere.
And the offset's doing some of that too.
Well, yeah, there's a little bit of poke. It's not inside the fender now. Now it's about on the edge of the fender.
It's like your old Raptor.
It's just like the old Raptor. Within 10 feet of a puddle, next thing you know, this is what happens, which I'm okay with. Like you said, the poke is just absolutely perfect. We're probably 10, 20 mil outside the fender itself. The old tire was inbound that much.
Things we're looking into is we don't like the center cap and it's exposed there. The center,
oh, the rusty cap. Craig,
yeah,
Craig, our axle cap is rusting.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, clickbait. No, whatever. That's normal.
And then our lug nuts themselves, they work, but
yeah,
don't like the look there. So we're looking into that. If y'all got suggestions, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking an opened end normal metal cap. You know, metal lug, so it can go through the thread itself. Those are the black ones that came with the OEM wheels. You're right, they look out of place, and they kind of disappear. I think if they were silver or bare metal, they would kind of give some depth to the wheel.
Yeah.
We'll see. Also, we're looking at adapting a 4th gen Tier D off-road center cap to it. I'm sorry, 5th gen 4Runner. So many gens and stuff. But we're working on that, but that's gonna be really hard to happen. It's gonna take magnets and stuff, so I don't know. We'll see, stay tuned on that.
All right, and then Brian, last but not least, you mentioned that it's supposed to be quieter on road.
Yep.
Confirm?
Yes. Quieter
mean,
than a KO2. Yeah, absolutely. They're silent.
They're really, I mean, honestly, not hardly any more noise than the trail train we had.
No, exactly. Now, I'll be honest, we're not sponsored by BFG. This is not given to us. We went out and bought these.
Right.
So if we had bought a KO2, it would have been $1,250 after tax. These were $1,350 after tax.
Yep.
A KM3 was $1,450 after tax.
Yeah, so it kind of slots in between there.
Slots in between. It is a step up, and I will tell you, it is closer optically to a Wild Peak than a KO2, but there's so much meat on that tread. After wheeling for 5 seconds, realize we're going to be fine with this.
Yeah, and one of the other things they really talk about is even wear. They're really touting that there's going to be even wear, better than the KO2.
Yeah.
But Brian, last but not least, I think we need to get to this, is on-road performance. Have we noticed any MPG hits? And what's our 0 to 60 time? Can we find that out?
Let's go find out.
All right. All right, Brian, it's time to test our BFG KO3s and a little bit the taller and wider tire.
Heavier too.
Does that impact performance?
You bet your ass it does.
Let's find out.
Load it up. Let's go.
Okay.
That was in 2-wheel drive, sport mode, traction off, AC off for extra power.
Yes, power
and there's
button.
60.
Oh.
Okay, what do you got? What do you got?
Well, 9.31. Brian, it's okay, but I'm in the car.
Okay,
When we first got this and I was in the truck, we got 8.1.
Okay, so that's...
But without me in the car, when we first got this truck, we got 7.5. What did we get in this without me?
My best, and this was launching in 4-wheel drive, loading the turbo as much as it would let me, 8.37.
Ooh, wow.
Wow.
So it added 0.8 seconds, almost a full second.
Okay, but let me add some more things to that though.
Okay.
We have a roof rack, we have a bed rack, we have a rooftop tent, and steelies are typically heavier than aluminum wheels, even though these aren't that heavy.
Well, we've added some weight.
We've added at least, I'd say combined, probably 400 pounds.
We've added some weight and just geometry and physics. We've made the
whole
mass
wind,
bigger.
All that stuff. So, yeah, look, that's the trade-off for the off-road capability.
Absolutely.
And that's not exclusive to Tacoma. And I do want to say that even with all the crap we put on here, all the awesomeness, we've made this thing like a zombie attack vehicle. The wheels and tires look amazing.
They do look great.
Still faster than the last V6 Tier D off-road we tested.
Very good point.
So by a tenth of a second, still faster. So that is a massive improvement, because if you had all this on the V6 non-turbo previous Tacoma, it'd be 10 plus.
You keep saying V6, I'll keep saying 6-speed. That 6-speed was his biggest letdown.
Good point, because they're the same horsepower.
Yeah.
But this has so much more torque, and like you said, gears to do something about it.
All right, Brian, back to the KO3s though. Ride and drive, quietness, noise, it's fine.
Yeah, we're doing 50 right now, and you hear a little bit of air moving around the roof rack. Very little, by the way. I cannot tell any more noise from these tires from the trail trains.
I can't either. Okay, controversial. My opinion on ride and drive as far as ride comfort.
Okay.
Slightly worse with these, but so slightly. So much so that non-car people that have ridden with me in this, my wife and my children, they just haven't noticed.
As much as I hate to say it, you were completely correct. So you told me this because you drove it before me. You're like, hey man, it rides a little bit worse, but no one can tell. And I drove it and went, you know what? If I didn't tell anybody, no one's gonna know.
Right.
And to me, it's not worse. I say worse very loosely. That's probably not the right word. It just rides different.
It's almost not worth even mentioning.
It's not. And we're at 40 PSI on all 4 tires. If you're trail riding and you put these at 20 or 25, it's gonna be ideal.
Now down to business.
MPG, baby, let's go.
Okay, MPG. I'm gonna pull up our little graph here because Taylor uses this wonderful graph. What did we used to get with the old tire, MPG?
20.
Yeah, 20.
Mix. We get 20 on the highway, and we would get 22 in the city.
Yeah.
That's right. I used to get 22 on the work.
Right around 20.
Right.
Maybe a little higher, a little, depending on what you're doing. Right around 20.
Right.
What are we getting now?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm getting, but I want you to tell me, you go first. What are you getting? Because I'm getting better than you are.
Well, I'm getting about 16.
16. That's a big hit.
We lost about 4 miles per gallon in my normal drive.
And just so we're clear, that's not with the roof rack and bed rack, because we were still getting the same mileage with all that stuff on there.
Yes, I was getting 20 with all that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just the tire.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not only height, it's mostly weight.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing that it is weight of rotating mass. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
The other thing going on is I've noticed at the highway speeds, you are slightly in boost, just cruising with cruise control at 70, 75. On my mixed urban route with a lot of parkway speeds, kind of 55, 60 kind of stuff.
Which is perfect. It was what every car wants.
It's a ton of mud, by the way.
Yeah.
I am getting 18.7.
Yes.
Which is not bad, but that's down from 22.
Yeah.
So it's 3 down in the city and 4 down on the highway.
And what's killing me is I've got the speeds of 75 on interstate.
It's a sustained headwind,
and that's
right?
just not helping matters.
No, it's not.
That said, though, Brian, saving grace of the new Tacoma, gearing and turbo and transmission, not a problem. Bigger tire. Old Tacoma would have just ruined it.
Oh, old Tacoma on factory tire.
You're re-gearing it.
Well, you almost need to re-gear on the factory tire, on the old one, and they were super low rolling resistance for an all-terrain. Or those Goodyear Wranglers that didn't do anything. On highway trips, it was on a 5-speed auto. No, it was 6-speed, wasn't it?
Yeah, 6-speed.
6-speed. It was in 5th or 4th all the time.
Back and forth.
Constantly. This doesn't do it at all. And at 70 miles an hour, it's at 1,800 RPM.
Thank you, Boost.
Thank you, Boost, and thank you, 8-speed.
Yes.
All that being said, I can't wait to get more miles on this. We've done about 100 miles so far on it, and we're going to report everything about it, and we're going to compare it directly to the KO2 that we have in our LR3 film truck.
Stay tuned for that. The only thing I've got, Brian, most importantly, it looks better. That's all that matters.
Phenomenal. Look, the vein in me is so happy right now.
Yes. With that, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let us know what you think of the KO3. If you've got any, have you had any experience? Have you had KO2s previously? Or do you hate KO2s and KO3s? Tell us why. Thanks for watching.